Thank you, sir. The next question is 194 and is asked by Honorable Swart to the Minister of Finance. Minister? 194 from Steve Swart. Msan Kaghela, ikulenteni thetha. Msan Kaghela. Honorable Minister, kawuphendule abantu balindile.
Oh, I didn't know I'm on mute. Sorry. With the situation still developing.
Honorable Minister, the question you must respond to is 194, asked by Honorable Steve Swart.
Let me just check what that question says. It says, what does the National Treasury envisage the impact of Russia's invasion of Ukraine would be on the economic growth? Is that the question? And I'm trying to answer that question by saying, with the situation still developing and so much uncertain, it is relatively difficult at this stage to quantify the potential impact with precision and confidence. However, South Africa's trade intensity between South Africa and Russia and Ukraine on aggregate is very small. It's less than 1% of South Africa's total export of goods and imports, and therefore is minimal. A similar number is reflected on imported goods that are from both these countries. However, within certain industries, the trade exposure is more significant, such as export of citrus, apples, pears, product. There's also another potential. What is difficult is that there's going to be that difficulty with that, but more challenging would be an indirect impact via the financial flows in different countries, via the impact, as I was saying, on inflation, via there's a positive impact via our commodity exports. So at this stage, we can't predict with precision. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Steve Swart.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Arising from your response, Honourable Minister, the budget review makes it clear that elevated risks to the fiscal outlook include a global or domestic economic slowdown. Now, my question referred to global and domestic, and that could result in lower revenue and greater cause for fiscal support in South Africa. In fact, the review states that, quote, there are significant risks to the global and domestic outlook over the medium term, and that was before the Russian invasion. Now, according to your response, it seems these risks, and they are, as you correctly pointed out, they're still materializing, but it does give an indication that the fiscal risks set out in the budget review, quote, global growth could slow more rapidly if supply chain bottlenecks persist, leading to sustained price pressures and rise in inflationary expectations. Now, this is what we are seeing globally. We are seeing as well in South Africa that consumers are facing shock increases in consumer inflation, driven by rapidly escalating food and fuel costs arising from the disrupted global supply chains. Electricity prices are set to rise. The Reserve Bank expected to increase interest rate hikes, and this will place further pressure on many South African households already struggling to make it month to month and with already constrained finances. However, Minister, I'd like to focus on the expected commodity boom, which resulted in additional revenue of 182 billion being collected for the present financial year, and which is expected to continue in the short term, again resulting in additional revenue. Can the Honourable Minister give us an indication? And yes, it could be very early stages yet, but could temporary relief be given to taxpayers, or could there even be a temporary suspension of part of the fuel taxes and levies referred to in your earlier question, given that the revenue projection for 22-23 is 71 billion higher than last October's projections, and that is set to increase. So we're looking for a possible relief, but obviously it's still early stages to consider that. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
I have indicated to the honorable member in answering the previous question that the issue of cushioning the impact, particularly of the fuel price, is a matter which is giving urgent attention in government. And therefore, we will make the necessary announcement soon, because it's our intention that such mitigation measures must focus on April and May. I did indicate that to the honorable member, that that's what we're working on, and the announcement is going to be made soon. Thank you.